Hey guys, what's going on? Tennessee Frank here. We're going to take a look at another distro here. It's called SparkyLinux. And a lot of you who've been following my channel know that I picked up one of the little Fit PC 2i's. It's an Atom-based PC. It's a micro PC, if you will. And I've been trying to find a distro to run on that, something that would be, you know, reasonably snappy and not bog down a lot. And after a lot of trial and error, I think I've settled on Sparky. It is Debian 9 based, and let's see, running the LXQT desktop, which is the Qt version of the LXDE desktop. So instead of using the GNOME toolkit, GTK2, GTK3, they're actually going to be using the Qt toolkit. Which is a little bit more modern, I think. Your KDEs and some of your other modern distros are running the Qt toolkit. So that makes it kind of nice. But let's take a little tour around here and see what we got. You got your clock and calendar. Of course, your clock is set by default to 24-hour time. We do have our volume control here. There's the Sparky 32-bit, which we know it's 32-bit because that little Atom processor needs 32. Here's your welcome to your clipboard settings. If you do any cut and paste, it'll be listed here if you want to find it for future reference. And then here's our connections. Of course, because I am running in VirtualBox, it thinks it's actually wired to Ethernet and not over the Wi-Fi, which it's running over the Wi-Fi on my main system. But we can go ahead and take a look at what's in the menu. You get quite a few little accessories out of the box. Your text editor, your calculator. You can control your passwords and keys here. There's a Qt file manager right here. We can take a look at that. And it has your basic everyday thing, your templates, public documents, downloads, music, video, and pictures, which is pretty much what we get from most of our managers. And then we move into education, LibreOffice Math. There's a webcam viewer by default. You can do screenshots. Simple Scan is in there by default, which is kind of nice. For image viewing, they have LX Image, which I would install Shotwell, but that's just me. Internet, you do get Firefox, which is nice. That's one of my favorite browsers. HexChat and Pigeon Messenger. Thunderbird for mail. Qbit Torrent, if you want to do any torrenting, which when I download ISOs over the internet, I like to do a torrent download because it kind of self-checks as it downloads. You don't really have to do your MD5s to check your ISO. So this way it checks it as it downloads, and it downloads quite a bit faster, I think. Full Office Suite, LibreOffice, which is nice. Programming, they got the icon browser. Sound and video, pulse audio volume control. They do have a radio tray, VLC media player, XF burn, which is good for burning your DVDs or CDs. Volk screen, which I've tried using. I really prefer Simple Screen Recorder. And because this is Debian 9, you can do that. You can install it right out of the box. It's in the repos now. Earlier versions of Debian didn't have it. Of course, here you can see about Sparky. And you can see this is version 5. And it's called Buster. This is a Debian testing version. It's i686. It is running the 686 PAE kernel, and it's 4.20, so it's fairly new kernel. Open box window manager. And so, yeah, you're getting a fairly modern system. You can run Debian 9 stable if you like. I wanted to go testing because even in testing with Debian, you're getting some fairly stable packages. which I want something that's going to stick around for a while and be a little bit bleeding edge, not 100%. But you get some pretty good tools. You get bleach bit, which you got to be careful with. You can bork your system with that if you're not careful. You got your package installer, disk usage, which we can see here. We're running, what are we? About 50, 12 megs out of 1 gig. So that ain't too bad. What else do we got here? Let's look. Universal access. Of course, yeah, you got your virtual keyboard, which we'll fire that up. This is neat. If you want to do some typing and you're afraid there might be a keylogger on your system, you can pull up a virtual keyboard. And this will kind of protect you from any keyloggers or anything that's on your system that would be connected to your keyboard. A lot of times, hackers will stick a little USB keylogger in line with, say, like a USB keyboard. And so when you type, they're picking up your passwords and all your data, credit card info, and all that. So it's nice to have a virtual keyboard that you can use. And there's one right there out of the box. Of course, you got all your preferences, screensavers and everything, print settings, firewall, which is nice to have out of the box. All your basic settings, your LXQT settings, appearance, brightness, date and time, desktop, which with the desktop you can change things around, icon size and stuff. They only showed one wallpaper out of the box that I could find. There's my simple screen recorder. You see it's going. But let's see. Let's look at wallpaper. And it's not coming up. Yeah, nothing's coming up under wallpaper. And this is another thing. When you type something that you want to search for, you got to back out of it in order to get your full menu back. If you leave something in there, you won't have your full menu. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty decent little distro. Seems to be fairly snappy. It runs pretty well. Peppermint was okay on that little Atom processor. It wasn't as snappy as I liked. Antics was good, but the way that they configure their panels and stuff, it's a little more than I want to get into sometimes. A little more complicated. So yeah, this is kind of taking a look at Sparky. I'm probably going to go ahead and we'll go over to the Fit PC2. I'll boot it up and do a little recording of what my screen looks like over there now that I got it modified. So let's go over there and I'll pull that up and then we'll go ahead and blend that in with this one. So we'll talk to you in just a bit. All right, here we are over on the micro PC, the little Fit PC2, and I believe it's the i version because it has the extra RAM. But you can see got a little bit different wallpaper on here. Changed up my date and time, so where it's 12 hour and I got my date in there. Of course, here's our volume. We have it set, although I don't have speakers hooked into this anymore. I put them back on my other PC. I added a shortcut here for Firefox, which we'll go ahead and open it up real quick. And since I'm recording, this is probably going to be a little more sluggish than normal. But we can go ahead and just kind of show you how I got it set up. Went ahead and got some custom Debian stuff here for Firefox. Got a Hushmail account. Got the Linux forums on here. Just so I can go on and do a little bit of surfing. You're not going to do a lot of heavy surfing with a little single core Atom processor, even hyper-threaded. You can see it's taking it a second here just even to load that page with everything we're doing with simple screen recorder. So we'll give this a second. If it doesn't load, we'll go ahead and kill it. But yeah, looks like there it is. It's getting ready to load. So give her just a second. This is a pretty good forum actually, linuxforums.org. They come through as not locked or not secure. But I mean, I've been on them for a long time, and I've never had an issue with this forum. So if you need information on Linux, hit the linuxforums.org. Pretty good place. And if we could get her to load. Yeah, it's having issues. There it is. There it is. It's finally loading up. And of course, I got my privacy badger. And I do have NoScript installed. I run those by default whenever I install a web browser. But I mean, you can see it goes through all the different distros. Arch, Debian, Gentoo, Synaptic, Mandiva, Mint, PC Linux OS, Slackware, SUSE, Red Hat, Ubuntu, other distros. Then it even gets into BSD. You can post all your questions and stuff in here. So yeah, it's a pretty cool forum. We'll go ahead and get out of that though. And we'll look at the menu here. You can see still pretty much everything we had in the other menu. I did install, where's it at here? There's Simple Screen Recorder in here. I like using it. System Tools. I don't think I added anything to the tools. I did reconfigure Terminal though. Made it a little bit bigger. You can see here it looks a little easier to see. Not done a whole lot to it. Just kind of wanted to keep it the way it is, more or less. You know, of course, you got your Synaptic Package Manager. I don't remember if that was on there or not. I think it was. But yeah, I mean, you can see here how it's set up. And it's fairly snappy. I mean, you see right there, you go to the menu, you know, you open something up here. There it is. I mean, it doesn't really take long. And like I said, we're actually we're doing some stuff here with Simple Screen Recorder. So that's gonna take a little bit of processor power and RAM to do anything. Let me see here. I got my firewall turned on. Let me see if I can find out and see how much we're running here. I don't think I installed hard info. No, I didn't. I can do that real quick though. Let's show you how we do this. System Tools. Open a terminal. Go ahead and sudo apt get install. If I can spell. Instl. Put in my super secret password. And it'll go out, pull it in from the repositories. And there she is. That's the thing I love about Linux. Anytime you want to install a package, if you know the name, open a terminal, sudo apt get install, or you know, depending on what distro you're running, it may be sudo pacman tac s or you know different. But now hard info's in there, and we can go ahead and pull it up. Hard info, and it's not going to come up as hard info. I'll bet it comes up as System Tools, Profiler and Benchmark. That's what it's actually called, System Profiler and Benchmark. And you can see it downloads your system information. Of course, it's a SparkyLinux 5 Nibiru. There's the CPU we're running. It's Intel Atom Z550, which, I mean, I did all this on my other video. 2 gigs of RAM, motherboard not applicable, graphics, you know, 1680 by 1050, which I did have to go back in and then set graphics up on this. And yeah, I mean, you can see here, let's go to memory. Total memory, and right now we're running, what are we running? Memory available, buffer cache, swap. How much are we using? High free. I've never really looked at this through memory. I normally use a different program, but yeah, anyway, it's there somewhere. And it's probably this mem free here, which it looks like just under 5 megabytes, which seems about right with doing recording. It's in the low hundreds. It's like 120, 130 when I'm not recording. So yeah, it is a fairly snappy system. If you want something stable, Debian based, it is Debian 9. I did install the testing. So you want something stable that's going to be really snappy on some of your older hardware, give SparkyLinux a try. I mean, it's a pretty good little system. It runs real well. Of course, like here's Simple Screen Recorder, and you can see right there's the volume and everything. So we'll go ahead and end her right here. And like I always say, either we stand up for our rights or we can sit by and watch them go away. You all have an awesome day. We'll talk to you later. Tennessee Frank out of here.